a lot, especially with bills and everything, man.
And you and the Bell go back a little bit. Do you have any reservations in fighting him?
Nah, it's way more fun when you fight a friend that's very good, man. So you could like shit talk a different way, like a friendly rivalry, perfect, man. And he's the best in the world. I want that title.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys.
Unleash the beast, baby.
Corey Sorga, Slap News. Austin, you dropped down light heavyweight. Did it go exactly how you thought it would?
Exactly how I thought it would, my man. I knew, see, money, if I put in the work and I believed in myself, that there's nobody out there that could stop me. And that's how I'm going to keep on moving forward. Put in that hard work, build my mind, and coming for that belt. So, Ron, watch out, brother, because I'm coming for that daggone belt, dude. It's mine. Keep it warm.
You had some choice words for Alan and some nicknames that you gave him. Actually seeing him taking his strike and giving it to him, do you give him any additional props?
I'm not going to sit here and rub salt on the wound. I'm not that type of guy. You know, it might look like that, but dude's a hell of a guy. And Alan, if you're listening, keep working and get back to it, dude.
Yeah, so obviously Wolverine dropped down as well. Do you think you are ready and in line for a title shot now?
More than ready, man. I've been ready since I got here in the beginning, you know. I knew that once I got a shot, I'd put whatever I needed to put into it to be the best that I can. And I don't see nobody. Ron, the bearded bitch, you ain't got it, brother. I'm coming for that belt. It's mine.
We know you quit your job to become a full-time striker. Obviously that has paid off for you here tonight. Do you feel like that you are in line for that title shot? I know you just said that you want Ron, but skillfully you think you're ready to take that on?
100%. I'm evolving as well. I'm constantly growing. So what I just put on that stage right there, my next performance is going to be even better. I'm going to get back to the house, get back to the dirty South, play around in the swamp, throw around some lizards, and come back stronger, bigger, better, nastier, meaner, and uglier than I ever was. So, I mean, they're going to have to send Ron somewhere and put him in a laboratory somewhere and work on him because what he got ain't enough for me.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Was that your best slap?
So far. Better to come, though. Better to come.
I just have to say, you have the most energy I've ever seen in a person. Are you like this always, or is this just a fight week kind of mood?
That's just me. I love competing. I come from Florida. I live in the Sunshine State. So that sun's beating down me every single day. So I'm just full of energy.
So you're screaming like that going down the grocery aisles too?
Where's the milk? Where's the cheese? Give me some bread.
Thank you.
Over here. Congratulations on the win. So you're mentioning how much work that you put in order to get this victory, and a great victory at that. Can you just describe for educational purposes for the people at home what type of work and what type of training you put into this camp to get this win?
Yeah, big time shout out to Jowser Size, man. I've been chewing on that thing like it was bubble gum, and I'm in 5th grade. Another big time shout out to Iron Neck. There's 2 tools that you can get on there that'll strengthen up your noodle neck if you got one. But I've been drinking whole milk and eating cow my whole life, so I've always been a big boy, strong and sturdy. So better start now before it's too late.
Gotcha. And how I describe to people and how I talk to people, the same formula and the same technique involves like pole vaulting, like throwing the big ball, like getting that technique down. Would you describe that? Would that be a fair assessment as far as the technical aspect is concerned?
I'd say very fair. One of the things that when I first got back after my first match, was I was striking and thinking about what muscles were being activated as I was striking. So I wasn't looking for any power or anything. I was just looking at what my body was doing as I was throwing a strike. And I believe in shot put or discus. Maybe those things are come a lot from your lateral muscle throwing and that whip and following through with it. So I just thought about those things, and I put those muscles to work like a dog.
And you emerged tonight as one of the most colorful characters. You're so comfortable and oddly comfortable in front of the camera. Where do you get that charisma? Where have you learned to be that showman?
Man, I'm from the dirty South. I love having fun, and anywhere I go, I just have fun, man. I'm a swamp savage, I'm just out here enjoying myself. So, like I just got asked, is this really me? Am I really running down the grocery aisles looking for the eggs? Yes, ma'am, I am. And I'm just having fun. That's all it is.
Congratulations, brother.
Thank you, bro.
Austin, you knocked him out and then dropped your hips on him. What was that about?
What you mean? That was Derek Lewis. My balls was hot. That's all that was. That was the beast, baby.
Understandable.
I'm a fan of this shit, man. That's what got me here. I've been watching the UFC, and I've always been a fan of combat, brutality, and violence, man. So Derek Lewis, he's one of the best of putting on a show, so I just follow in those big footsteps of his.
Cowboy Cerrone was in the audience. I'm not sure if you knew that. There were probably quite a few other UFC fighters. Does that get you amped up knowing those people? Or?
Fuck yeah, that gets me amped up, dude. I'm trying to sing some Kid Rock and down some Budweisers with Donald Cerrone, maybe hop on a bull or something, go ride some dirt bikes or something. That fucking definitely fires me up. I love the cowboy. I'm a cowboy, baby.
Well, there's a highlight where you can see him in the background. You're celebrating, and he's up on the screen, so you'll have to watch for that.
No way. Yeah, I definitely will. Thanks for letting me know about that. I can't wait to see that.
Hey, Austin, you said you would do it in one, and you did. How does that feel?
I knew it was going to happen. It feels great. It's like asking yourself, what's 2 + 2? You know it's 4.
You showed your chin tonight. What do you have to say to all the naysayers that were saying you haven't been tested, you haven't had a chance to show it? Tonight you showed it. What do you have to say to those guys?
Look at it. You can't break it, baby. That's what I got to say to them.
You got the biggest energy on the roster. Do you think there's anyone else in Power Slap who can match your energy?
Ain't nobody else on this planet, brother. I'm one of a kind.
Thank you. Congratulations on your win.
Thank you, bro. Thanks for being here.
Austin, through the first 3 Power Slaps, we've in these post-match press conferences, we've asked about techniques and people working on their angles and their striking. From the other side of it, I had a fan ask me, how do they train to take the shot? Boxers get in the ring, they put headgear, they spar. UFC, they train with partners. Do you actually go through training and take shots? How do you train to strengthen the jaw?
So you ended it with exactly what I do. I don't I strengthen the jaw and I strengthen the neck. I don't take shots. I keep my brain fresh. I read books. I do crossword puzzles. I listen to music. I chill. I hang out. But I work on my jaw, work on my neck. I don't think it's smart to beat up your brain. I'm just trying to keep my brain safe and work on my jaw and my neck. I think that's more important.
So realistically, like doing neck workouts with weights or whatever it may be, working out the neck muscles, the traps, so on and so forth.
Yeah, because if I'm in there constantly getting beat up, next thing you know, somebody's going to want to really take a whack at me because I like talk shit everywhere I go. So if I'm in the gym working out with somebody, more than likely I'm going to end up talking shit to you. So maybe one day that might get underneath somebody's skin. They try to crack me one time. I figure I just work on the muscles that need be and get them strong, and ain't nobody going to knock me out anyhow. Come on, bearded bitch. You ain't got it, buddy. You ain't got it. Woo!
The Crazy Hawaiian. Welcome to Power Slap. Was it everything that you hoped your first appearance would be?
I mean, we always trying to get that knockout in, but Micah is. I really tried to knock him out. And that guy stood there and did not flinch. He ate my shit. So, big ups to him, but nobody ever done that. At least with me, ate my shit like that. So he's he's a big eater.
You definitely had a lot of respect for him going into this match. Do you have even more respect for him now?
Oh, I mean, I still have the same respect that I don't think I can respect him anymore. That's my boy, and I really try to knock him out.
Koa, you and I talked during Power Slap 1. You were here for Power Slap 2. Being a part of this, how have you seen, just in this short time, the progression? Because you've been doing this a long time. The production, the crowd, the energy inside this building, the progression overall with your experience. How have you seen it sort of just continually progress under Dana's watch?
It's scary, really, really. Like, I always dreamt of it, when I first started. Somebody once told me that there was no money in it. I can't pay you right now. We proved them wrong. So, sorry, I lost my voice. Every time I turn on the Crazy Hawaiian, I lose my voice. So, I might have to turn them off right now. But the production is like no other. Come on, I look at all you. The first one was just like 5 people, and now we got a whole bunch. So everything's falling into place. It's God's timing always.
Why did you switch to the left hand in the third round?
I really felt like I needed to give him something else. After doing my right twice, I really felt like, man, he's eating my right like nothing, and it was kind of worrying me. And my left, like my brother, a lot of people don't know, he's a right-handed striker, but he uses his left to knock out slap for cash. And I use my left on the last round, hoping to do the same. But it's the first promotion allowing you to do it, so I tried it.
I saw you look up to him. Were you actually saying, should I do it? Is that what you were asking him?
Oh, I was actually asking my brother in the crowd, should I do it,
That's what I'm saying.
And he was like, if you want to. So I really wanted to, and he ate that shit, man. It was unbelievable.
Do you feel like you've established a name for yourself now after that fight, like that you're the guy? There was a lot of hype around your debut. Do you feel like you established a name now with that win?
I mean, a lot of people have to do their research about me. Micah was probably the toughest opponent I had so far, and I just feel like this sport's not gonna go nowhere. It's just gonna keep going up and up. The hate for the sport is what's going to drive it to be one of the best sports statistically for anybody to get paid.
You mentioned that he was your toughest opponent. Did being friends with him play into that a little bit? The fact that you guys had a relationship before?
Yeah, he called me up this morning. He said, "Hey, I'm eating Loco Moco right now. What are you doing?" I said, "Leave me alone, goddammit, for one day so I can hate you, so I can actually put some hate behind my strikes." And he said, "Okay, bet. I got your max salad though." And I was like, "Are you claiming you're gonna lose right now? Because I'm gonna get that max salad anyway." But yeah, it's hard to go up against somebody that picks me up from Vegas every time I land. It's really hard. But I really, I don't know if you guys noticed it, but I really try to knock his ass out, and he just ate it.
Are you guys going to go out and celebrate after this?
Absolutely.
Question over here. Right over here. Hey, how you doing? And congrats on the win, by the way. So, obviously, you're fighting one of your friends and one of your combatants. So, the mental aspect. Obviously, you're in the heaviest weight class. One strike could be game over. I mean, both of you guys generate the most power. What's the mental aspect to stay in the box, keep your hands behind your back, do not flinch? Like, what's the mental aspect before he's about to hit that slap?
Don't be a pussy. Straight the fuck up. Don't be a pussy. If you want to do this sport and you think you're going to flinch because, I mean, close your eyes. I don't know. Just take that shit. Eat that shit. If you don't, then you might not be a champion or, do some neck workouts or some shit. I don't know.
Thank you very much.
I mean, aloha. I know you guys wanted to, put on the show for the fans, but I think they still loved it. Were you good? Did you feel good at the end of your performance that you were able to go these hard rounds?
I mean, I was disappointed initially, we need maybe like 2 or 3 more rounds. I think one of us would have had, 9-9, sleep. So just wait. Give me some Russians. Give me some South Africans. Give me somebody else, Brazilians, somebody else other than somebody in the U.S. I don't think there's anybody in the U.S. that can be me. So let's branch out. How's that?
U.S. or branching out, where's your ideal location? Taking it back to, one of the islands.
Obviously, I would love for this to be an island thing, because we got some bangers like me. They called me a couple weeks ago, and I came right off the couch, ready to slap whoever at any time. So, that being said, like, feed me my fucking opponent. Give me somebody that looks badass. Give me somebody that's big and bad. Somebody, anybody.
All right, my man. We'll look forward to it. Mahalo.
Appreciate you.
With your brother being in the same division, and if they bring a title to the super heavyweight division, what's the plan there? Like, are you going to let him go for the title? Are you going to go for the title? Like, what's up?
I told him he needed to sit back and watch, because eventually we might need to go up against each other for the sport. Obviously, that would be really hard, even a lot harder than any fight I've ever done. But it's a sport. I've done this because I knew it was going to turn into a fucking sport. Somebody said, that's not a sport. Yeah, it's not fighting. You can't go out there and slap somebody. They're not going to sit there and let you slap them. But it is a competition, and it is a sport. I mean, cornhole is a sport. Come on now.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
If they bring Power Slap to the islands, who would you want to fight?
Honestly, I would have to try and see like what kind of MMA legend or boxing legend, but I'll take on whoever, anybody. Maybe, I mean, who's fat and big in Hawaii? I don't know. That guy from Lost,
There's always big island energy in the crowd for these Power Slap events. Is there anything you want to say to the people watching back home?
I'm sorry they only give me a few tickets, but I was trying to get the Hawaiians to come up in the parking lot and storm this bitch like the Capitol.
Thank you. Congrats on your win.
Thank you.
What's up, guys? How are you? Performance bonuses. Nate Bernard and Austin Turpin, they both got $10,000. And fight of the night was AJ and Wolverine. They both got $10,000. And, you know, we had a hard time picking the bonuses. Aziel Rodriguez looked good. I'm going to take care of him, too. Who's got the first question?
Dana, when we spoke after Power Slap 2, you said that this is fun for you because after each one now is when you get to break things down and tweak and perfect and so on and so forth. Now that you're after your third one, where do you rate this? How happy are you with the production?
I love to build. I love to build brands. I love to build things from the ground up. I love to build things that people say can't be built. I like to break records. I like to do all that stuff. And you know, I was talking to a couple guys tonight. My production team tonight knocked this thing out of the park. The production was incredible. When you watch this show, we should win awards for this show tonight. We'll never win a fucking award for this show ever, but we should win an award for this show tonight. The production was, quality of the show was incredible. Like when you watch, I won't throw anybody under the bus, but when you watch Showtime Boxing, and these guys are putting on events. Fucking replays are terrible. The production quality is horrible. I mean, you're waiting for a replay. Replays never come. As soon as the slap is over, my team has 3 different fucking replays from 3 different angles. And the list goes on and on of the quality of production that we had tonight. So, and the reason I'm saying this is I'm not bragging. I'm commending my production team. They absolutely, you know, these guys, it's International Fight Week. We have all these things going on. You know, big UFC event tomorrow, and the production team that worked this event tonight absolutely killed it. I also want to commend the Athletic Commission. They are so on their game with this thing, fouls and, you know, everything's right. They're using the instant replay the way you're supposed to use instant replay. When you think about how instant replay should be used in sports, just Nevada State Athletic Commission, congratulations, amazing job on such a, you know, this is our third live event in Vegas, and they killed it. So I don't know if I answered your questions, but I hope I did. Yeah.
I've got a couple for you. You know, this is the third event you've put on, and even for me as a spectator, I noticed in the main event sort of different tactics, different skills that they're trying to use, and it's like you're seeing the sport evolve in real time. I'm curious if you, watching it, feel the same way.
100%, yeah. You know, part of you know, the scrutiny that we've had over the last 6 months, you know, it's awesome. I mean, you have to have this kind. I have to have this kind of stuff. I love this shit. And you know, when me and my team look at, you know, dive in and start, how do you make this better? How are we better than the last time we were? You know, I don't know if you would try to excel to the level that we're trying to excel to without the critics and the scrutiny and all the things that come along with it. This thing is so identical to the UFC when we started. It's scary. Other than the fact that it's way more successful sooner than the UFC ever was. You know what I mean? I mean, the sponsorship is off the charts on this thing, and it just, tonight was a big night for us. So
every so often you get a match where, like, one guy fouls one guy, then they'll get fouled back, and it kind of sort of slows down into this foul sort of thing. Do you expect that to disappear as this sport gets further and further along?
Yes, and what happens is a lot of these guys are inexperienced. You know what I mean? Some of these guys are starting to, but there's going to be so much money involved in this thing. I mean, you guys just talked to the Crazy Hawaiian. He's like, this was something for me. Now I'm going to start taking this a lot more serious than I did. And you know, I was telling Kevin earlier, a few of these guys have already quit their jobs. You know, the Bell always wanted to buy a Mustang GT. He bought a Mustang GT after his last event. You know, and this is, we're 6 months into this thing. And, you know, the 2 guys that fought on the main event have made over $100,000 already this year. So, you know, this is real money. This is life-changing money for a lot of these guys. And the answer to your question is yes. This will happen. You know, there's a lot of inexperience going on right now, and that will all start to change over the next 6 months.
When you started this, I remember a bunch of us asked you, oh, were you ready to take on a whole nother job, a whole nother promotion? Are you ready to take on a whole nother roster of crazy guys who are going to get paid loads of money and go out into Vegas and cause mayhem?
Well, I got to give credit where credit is due. Frank is running this company and doing a phenomenal job. Erica over there in the corner is our matchmaker. and a lot of other people that are helping working on this. This isn't me doing everything myself. One thing that there aren't many things that I'm good at, but one thing I am good at is I've always been good at building good teams around me. I did it with the UFC. In the early days, I did it after the sale, and we're doing the same thing with Slap and other companies that we're running right now.
Two more quick ones from me. This might sound like a silly question, but it was something that occurred to me watching the main event. Is there any conversation about making these guys trim their beards? Or is it just like, if your opponent's got a bushy beard, you have to deal with it and find the chin?
No, you could not be more. First of all, I think Wolverine lost half his beard tonight. When you see that thing in slow motion, there's red hairs flying everywhere after each slap. And I would absolutely agree with you because the first, AJ's good. AJ and Wolverine are two of the best in the world, right? They're two of the best, absolute best in the world. And I think that AJ had a hard time finding his chin in the first one. And Kevin, we go back to the old days of boxing. You weren't allowed to have a beard in boxing. You had to shave it. Now everybody's got a fucking beard. So I don't know. That's up to the commission, not me. But yes, I agree with you 100%.
And last one from me, you obviously announced John Jones versus Stipe Miocic today for the 30th anniversary card, massive heavyweight fight. What do you think it means to both of those guys, and why was this the fight to make?
What was the question? I'm sorry, I missed it.
You made John Jones versus
Stipe, yeah.
Big fight.
Yeah, so, yeah, we're going back into Madison Square Garden. This is a fight that had to be done for, especially, when you think about the legacy of Jones, the legacy of Stipe, the greatest mixed martial artist of all time versus the greatest heavyweight of all time. After he moves up to heavyweight, it's a fight that had to happen, and no better place for it to happen than Madison Square Garden.
Dana over here.
Yep.
Congratulations on a great night.
Thank you.
Watching on TV is pretty exciting, but also being there in person is like mainlining adrenaline.
Right.
Is the key to this getting this in front of crowds? What's the contingency plan of getting this in front of crowds?
So in the next 2 years, if you look at how far this thing has come, some of you I've talked to personally, when I say shit public, you think I'm still fucking doing this 3 events and this thing isn't this thing is a fucking juggernaut, okay? A juggernaut. And what we're working on right now is regulation. And we have a bunch of states lined up. In the next 2 years, half of the states that have commissions will have Power Slap. So right now, this thing is an invitation-only event that we're doing here. Tonight we had obviously a lot of media members here because of International Fight Week. Thank you for having an open mind and coming and checking it out. We had lots of sponsors here tonight, and sponsorship on this thing is going through the roof. Once we get it legalized, we're going to start taking this thing to different states for live events. But if this is our 3rd event, in the next 2 years, you're gonna start to see this thing move around a lot.
For educational purposes for people watching at home, does it come down, because the Ultimate Fighter was essentially a Trojan horse to educate people about the sport. Do you feel that, because there's a lot of technique that goes into it. Like, it reminds me of the technique that it takes to, do shot put, staying in the box, also mental, not flinching, keeping your hands behind your back. There's a lot of elements. There's a lot of tranches to this. Is it down to, because with the UFC also, you had about athletic commissions, politicians, fan backlash, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Fans seem like the one thing, and the media seem like the one thing to get over. Is it just comes down to education and educating the MMA demographic and the general sports consumer?
Great question. And there's 2 answers to that question. Number 1, yes, some people need to be educated. Number 2, some people will never like this no matter what you do or what you say. Same with MMA. And if you even look at the UFC and how big this company is and what a major sport we are globally and everything else, we just got New York and France done not too long ago. You know what I mean? So when you look at this as new, this seems crazy to everybody. Same thing that we went through with the UFC. I was saying this tonight to Kevin too. There's a lot of people that don't like this, right? They've been very vocal about it. We don't like it. Well, there's 8.5 billion people in the world, and there's a lot of people who do like it. So not everybody has to like this. I only need some of the people to like it, And yes, that's what we're going to continue to do. And I literally went into a deep dive with my analytical team this week and ripping social media numbers apart. This thing is very urban. This thing does unbelievable with the Mexican community. It's off the charts in India, and it's very fascinating as I start to dive into this thing and continue to study it and figure out how we're going to build this stuff. And I cannot explain to you enough how much I love this. This is what I love to do. This is the stuff that gets me up in the morning and fires me up. And, you know, I keep talking about Kevin because I can't fucking believe Kevin's here. But, you know, I was saying to Kevin when we did the first trial here, did I or did I not? I said, watch what I do with this thing in the next year. And here we are at the third event, and I'm going to tell you all now, watch what we do with this thing in the next 2 years.
Okay, so one more question. It might be a dumb question, so forgive me if it is. Endeavor, obviously you have WWE, UFC, Power Slap under one umbrella. Is the possibility of maybe crossover slap events? Maybe we have Elon Musk fighting Mark Zuckerberg in a slap contest. That would be awesome.
Well, it's a fascinating question, and it's hard to answer right now. But in the next couple months, I'll announce something with you guys that's happening right now. But yeah, a lot of people have a lot of ideas or think they know about how this whole mixing pot of companies work, and you don't. You have no idea how it works. But in the next couple of months, I'll enlighten you on some stuff. Now is not the time. Thank you, sir. Great questions.
Dana, I wanted to ask you one question really quickly. I saw Derek Stevens was here tonight.
Yep.
Did he like it, and is that something that you two could do business together?
Derek Stevens is a big sponsor. All the fighters stay at Circa, and he's been a bit. I mean, if you guys drive down the Strip today, literally every casino on the Strip and downtown has it on their signs. Every casino, restaurant, bar showed it tonight. So in the beginning, in the early stages like this, it's about getting eyeballs on it. And Hooters, Twin Peaks, Dave & Buster's, PT's Pubs in Vegas. The list goes on and on of all the bars that showed it tonight, too. So, huh? Yeah. Yep.
Dana, you keep talking about the numbers. You're big on the numbers. The coin toss, that came out well in advance this time around as opposed to 1 and 2. How much did that play into like the betting numbers and so on? Did that have something to do with it? And what's the return then the feedback you're getting from the betting numbers?
Yeah, it's all about the betting. That's why we do it early, because that obviously affects the way people will bet on the sport. And that's the other thing. Another great question. If you look at every major casino had betting. All the offshore DraftKings had betting on it. I mean, what's the Noke boys? Rubed had it. Yeah. FanDuel. I mean, all the majors have gambling on this thing now. So the answer to that question is, hell yeah, it's doing good, or they wouldn't even bother with it. So, I mean, when you look at, talking about legitimacy early, we're doing everything that we did in the UFC. We're out getting this thing sanctioned. We're working with the Athletic Commission to make sure they do a great job. Everywhere that you possibly bet on it has betting, has odds on it. The production quality off the charts. The list goes on and on of all the things that we've worked on over the last, you're talking 6 months.
We saw the NFL owners agree to allow sports betting kiosks in stadiums. Is that something you would entertain down the road, possibly in events, and then maybe even with UFC, where they could have kiosks and be able to bet? You could bet on your phone, obviously,
right.
But for people that wanted to bet in kiosk, is that something that you would entertain?
Probably the wrong guy for this question. I'm a sick degenerate. I love gambling, and yes, I would absolutely, positively. It's part of the fun of watching sports. Everybody bets on the games on Sunday, and you watch the games that you bet on. Same thing with fights, and I would do kiosks in a minute. Yes.
Over here. Dana,
yep.
Is a super heavyweight title coming soon?
Yeah. We like the super heavyweights. They're fun, and in the UFC, super heavyweights never really made sense. But in this sport, there's a lot of guys out there that can actually be fun and exciting.
If there is a title for super heavyweights, what is the weight limit? Is it 265 plus against 400?
Yeah. Yeah, these guys are what? What is it? It's 200 up, right?
Yeah. When you do get a live crowd, would you like Fridays to be the days because there's a lot of people in town?
Well, first of all, we did well tonight. We did really well with the live feed. Friday nights, you compete with everything, man. You compete with dinner on Friday nights. You know what I mean? You got to take your wife or your girl to dinner. You know. I like Wednesdays, and Wednesdays are really good for the bars, too. Friday night is good for bars tonight because we're like in the middle of baseball and, you know, there's not a bunch of stuff you're competing with. But once you get into football season, you got college football, you got the NFL. Wednesday nights are a good night for us. Tonight worked out perfect because it's International Fight Week. All the stuff that's going on this week between the media that's in town, the fans that are in town, sponsors that are in town, it worked for this Friday. And tonight we pulled the most consistent, longest concurrent viewers that we did. We held the peak at like an hour and a half tonight. So it's just fucking. When you're building something from the ground up like we are here, and you know every little detail, fucking 10 things can go wrong tomorrow night. They'll piss me off, right? We should have done it perfect, or whatever. But none of you will notice, and it doesn't matter. And we'll do a fight another Saturday and whatever. 10 things go wrong when you're building something like this. It's a disaster. It's a disaster. So it's part of the fun of this too. You have to be on your game every single time you put on an event. Everything has to align, and you have to do everything perfectly. And there's a ton of pressure that comes with that, and I love it. I fucking feed off it. I eat it. I just can't tell you how much I love this shit, if you can't tell.
Dana.
But anyway.
Dana, from the early days of UFC, it was often compared to no holds barred. And when you think about the times of the struggle and everything, and considering the lessons that you learned along the way from where the UFC began to where it is now, what are some of those lessons that you're trying to apply to Slap and trying to take it to extents that it hasn't made before?
Well, like I said before, early on, you know, we're focused on the things that matter. Good matchmaking so you get good fights, building talent, and then obviously live and television production. If you don't screw those things up, you're in good shape.
Dana,
yeah,
you're definitely adding fuel to the fire. We're seeing events more frequently. They announced Power Slap number 4 coming up on August 9th on Wednesday. Did you think it would happen this fast? And are you excited that, you know, with everything that you have going on?
Yeah, we're getting to a point now where, you know, we're actually starting to talk about, you know, we got our legs under us now. We're getting this thing dialed in. Maybe we start doing more events. And so we're figuring out. But we got season 2 coming up of the reality show, which is going to be heavy international talent. And, the answer is yes.
Any update on the video game?
What?
Any update on the Slap video game?
Yeah, no, it's funny you asked that. I did get some information on that today. We're close to getting it done and getting it out. Yeah.
Awesome. One last one. Obviously, in regards to medicals, I know there was some stuff with UFC and you know, saving some of the lives of these fighters.
Right.
With the Slap fighters going through the same medicals as UFC, do you think it gives credibility to the actual sport itself for the medicals that you're doing since they're the same?
Not now. No, nobody gives a shit. But as we continue to do this, like the UFC, you know, all the bad stuff that was said about the UFC early on, and I even hate saying this and talking about it or whatever, but here we are 23 years later with an incredible safety record in the UFC. So right now, you know, you're going to get these doctors that want attention and these guys that come out and want you to fucking talk about them and put their names on your stories and all that bullshit. Those guys are all fucking flying around right now. In a few years, then it will mean something.
Dana, over just here. To follow up on that right here.
Oh.
Josiah Harrell got removed from the card today against Jack Della Mena because they found an abnormality with his brain scan. He's 7-0, and he's never had an MRI, he said, in his life. Like, how crazy is that, you know, on these regional circuits, you know, people aren't getting checked out like that, and just how scary is that he came into this week with a condition like that?
So if you took the 23 years that we've been doing this, and you found, and you saw how many people we found with problems that probably shouldn't have been fighting, even kids that we found that wanted to get into the Ultimate Fighter, you know, yeah, it's everything, and it's insane that this goes on out there, you know, and these other organizations are regulated. I mean, yeah, it's crazy. We spend millions and millions of dollars on health and safety. It is the most important thing that we focus on and that we care about as far as putting on fights. And like he was just asking, these guys go through the same exact medical testing as UFC fighters do.
Is there anything that can be done in the sport as a whole? You know, a message maybe you can send to these lower level promotions on how to maybe better protect, or is it just a money thing that
they can't
they
afford
don't
it.
have it?
They can't afford it. It's like even Logan Paul and I have had this conversation. Logan Paul was doing the slap thing before me. And he said to me, you know, a few weeks ago, he's like, brother, you killed it. You took it to, I said, well, listen, you weren't wrong. You were right. It's just, you couldn't pull this off. It would be impossible for some of these guys that are lower level promoters to do the level of testing that needs to be done to make sure that everybody is safe. But knock on wood, again, you know, a lot of bad things have happened in the sport in the last 23 years, even in the smaller shows. You know, at the end of the day, if you're involved in a combat sport, and I consider football a combat sport too, there's a risk. Every time you go out and compete, there's a risk. What we try to do is minimize the risk as much as possible. It was part of the reason we built the PI too. You know what I mean? We got these athletes in there for weeks, sometimes months, evaluating them, making sure they're good, making sure they're training properly, you know, healthy, safe, list goes on and on.
You mentioned the production of tonight's event and how proud of it you were. Does this need to stay here in the Apex to maintain that? Or if this goes as far as you want it to be, and maybe you look at arenas, things like that, is it possible to maintain that same thing in bigger venues?
100%. I mean, you look at what we do with the UFC. This show tonight has more cameras than the UFC does. There's like 34 ISOs, so I can give you 34 different shots of one slap. And it's all in slow-mo, and, you know, this thing is probably overproduced, but it's awesome.
And yesterday it was announced George St. Pierre is going to be coming back and competing here in the Fight Pass Invitational in a grappling match.
Yeah.
He said he's talked with you guys, maybe a few different opponents. Do you have an ideal opponent? A lot of people out there want to see him against Khabib Nurmagomedov.
Well, yeah, he was talking. I saw something where some fucking wrote a story about I lied to GSP and I probably lied to him. You know about this? No. About Khabib? So this was after they both retired, and he said, Dana called me and asked me if I wanted to fight Khabib, but he didn't have an okay from Khabib saying that he would fight. Well, you got to call somebody first, right? Yes. You got to call somebody first. I don't get them on fucking three-way calling and say, hey, guys, what's happening? Would you like to come out of retirement and fight each other? So George had been retired longer, so the question was, would George even consider, you know what I mean, fighting Khabib? He said yes. So then you talk to the other guy. But yeah, I thought that was a weird, and again, there's a lot lost in translation when George St. Pierre talks too. So maybe I'm wrong, I don't know, but the way that I read it, he was saying he felt like he was kind of lied to or something, or that's the way they wrote the story. Who knows what he really said? But yeah, I thought that was weird today. But what are you asking me?
Could Khabib be GSP's opponent for this grappling match?
Got it. That would be awesome. I would love to pull that off. That's not in the works right now, but yeah, I would love to pull that off. So I'm getting heavily involved in the grappling world now too, if you haven't noticed. So we'll have a big announcement for all that too. But yeah, I'm going after the grappling world big time.
And just one more, Leon Edwards was doing some interviews at UFC X today, and he said he met with you guys, and Colby Covington fight could happen at Madison Square Garden in November, maybe the co-main event for Jones and Miocic. How far along is that?
Yeah, that could happen. There's a lot of options. I don't want to talk tonight about potential UFC shit. I mean, we could be here all fucking night talking about that, but yes, that is a potential.
Hi, Dana.
Yeah, hi, Ben.
Every week or every event I ask you about the women, but I have a different question about the women. You mentioned all the analytics and stuff you're looking into. Have you found that women are receptive to even watching?
Yes, it's crazy. We had first of all, in the deep dive that we did into social media with my analytical team, skews higher in women than I would have ever imagined. Tonight, there was a 2-star general here. His wife was here. And one of the things that I noticed when I talk to women is they get it. This doesn't need to be explained to them. You don't have to break it down like you do, you know, UFC or MMA or whatever you want to, any other combat sport you want to talk about. Women get it.
We get a lot of things.
Sure. No, I don't disagree. But you don't expect women to be, we're going to Vegas and we're going to a power slap event. Yeah, it's awesome. I love that they talked to a few women tonight.
So any update on any women on the next card?
Frank, they're coming. We're working on it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dana over
Hey,
here.
Dana.
Yep.
I wanted to ask you about Austin Turpin and his performance. What do you make of that?
Is that dude a maniac?
Yeah.
He's a maniac.
What do you
He
make of
just
it?
quit his job. He's focusing full time now on this. And yeah, the kid's impressive. You look at him and you look at him and you look at the guys he's going up to against and you think he's in trouble. This kid's a powerhouse and he's an absolute lunatic.
And I also wanted to ask you about the co-main event between the Crazy Hawaiian and Micah. I know you were pretty excited about that one, 400 pounds versus 400 pounds. Were you slightly disappointed we didn't get to see a finish in that one?
Hey, listen, every fight can't be a finish. I told him that when he just walked out. He's like, I wanted to finish. Every fight isn't a finish, kid. It doesn't work that way. But like I said, he said, I'm going to start taking this serious now, man. This was something tonight. This was a different level. This was more than I expected. And he saw his brother fight. So I think what happens is with a lot of these kids, we treat all, whether you're in the UFC, you're here, you show up, you feel like a professional athlete. You know what I mean? You're treated like a professional athlete. And I think that's what they walk away with after this experience. And we've heard it from a lot of the fighters. They're starting to take this serious now. A lot of guys are quitting their jobs and looking at doing this full time.
And back to the light heavyweights. After tonight, would Wolverine versus Turpin be something you're interested in?
Is what?
Wolverine versus Austin Turpin, something you'd be interested in?
Holy shit, this is turning into a UFC press conference now. I don't know, brother. I don't know. I'll get back in the matchmaking room on Tuesday and we'll figure it out.
Thank you.
That's my patented answer for everything.
Hey, Dana, follow up on what was mentioned earlier. You had mentioned earlier in the press conference how the belt finally got to buy a car.
Yeah.
And when you have stories like Jens Pulver talking at the Hall of Fame inductions about how MMA saved his life, when you facilitate and are in charge of many of these great organizations, for you, how does that human aspect remind you of what this is all about?
Yeah, you know what? It's funny because when I was earlier talking about the negativity that was surrounding Power Slap, when you dive in and you start to talk to some of these people, and you realize how it changes their lives and how this impacts their families, and it's easy to sit on your fucking high stool or wherever you're coming from, or you just don't understand the sport, or maybe you're just not a fan of some people out there that don't even think heading should be allowed in soccer and stuff like that. But a lot of these people that are involved in combat sports, boxing, kickboxing, the list goes on and on, right down to slap. You don't understand where they come from and what they've seen and what they've been through, and how something like this could change and impact not only their lives but their families. Yeah, it changes your perspective on it, hopefully.
For you, when you go down to the T of the production, the people that you hire in the front office, everyone in sports are very focused on the dollars and trying to make the most money. For you, how important is it to make sure that everyone understands the concept of it's more than a game, it's more than just a fight, and it's about the human aspect?
Yeah, I mean, we try to do that. I mean, a lot of what we do here in the UFC and here is try to do some storytelling and let you know who these people are and understand them. But I don't know if it reaches anybody, because at the end of the day, there has to be why. Why are we here tonight? Why are these two guys slapping? For what? What does it mean? What's the goal here? And we talked tonight about rankings. A few of these fights, Erica was telling me tonight, had title implications and things like that. So those are the stories that we try to tell, along with who are they, where do they come from, and why should you care about them.
Hey, Dana, over here. Last time at Power Slap 2, you said there was 20,000 applicants looking to come in and slap. Has that number increased, and any UFC fighters showing interest in coming over here and slapping?
Macy Barber was talking to me about it tonight. I don't know if she's serious, but yeah, who as this thing continues to grow, and at the end of the day, the reality is the more money that comes into the sport, the bigger it gets, and the more people that'll be looking for opportunities. But yeah, I think that you will see it. But the balls that you have to have to hold that pad behind your back and take a slap from another person is another level.
We didn't see Wolverine walk out here today. Is everything okay with him?
As far as
He's coming out next? Okay.
Are you excited to have KO Chris back? Is he going to?
Very. I love that kid. He's a maniac, but I really like the kid a lot, and obviously he's super powerful, and he's fun to watch. And, yeah, I'm excited to have him back.
Fans were disappointed last night that Anderson Silva was not in attendance for the Hall of Fame. Do you know why he was not there?
That Anderson wasn't what?
That Anderson Silva was not at the Hall of Fame last night. Do you know why?
No, I don't know.
And then finally, how real is Zuckerberg versus Musk? Because now we're hearing that like Musk's mom doesn't want him to fight. Like, how real is this thing?
It's very real. It's very real.
Thank you.
Good night. Thanks for coming, you guys. I appreciate it.
Congratulations. How'd the win feel tonight?
Oh, pretty good. It was a tough match. AJ, shocked the hell out of me, and we kept going back and forth.
Elaborate on what shocked you. Was it the chin, the strong chin, the powerful slap? Elaborate on that.
Yeah, he had a lot stronger of a chin. Obviously everybody's seen him get laid down the past couple times, and yeah, he had a strong chin. And the fourth round, he caught me pretty good.
Of course, you've been in many other slap fights before, and considering this one, where would you rank it on your all-time matches?
Probably second.
Also considering, too, that you were a former heavyweight champion and now you're light heavyweight, are you considering trying to go double belt in any way?
No, I think I'm happy at light heavyweight. 205 was a great weight for me.
Thank you.
Ron, congratulations. You were actually an underdog coming into this on the betting line, and you finished as the favorite. Did you know about that heading into this match?
No, I looked at the Circa Casino, and I seen that we were pretty close to even. So I knew earlier in the week I was, a big underdog, but I didn't know about being the favorite or anything.
Comparing this victory to the one you had over Darius, how does it compare?
It actually compares to probably about the same. Darius was somebody that I had competed against in the past and, wanted the victory. And AJ is somebody that, had the belt that I've wanted. So it was about the same.
On the road to the title series, you coached AJ. Now going up against him here tonight. What about him surprised you?
Honestly, his chin. I did not expect him to stand up and keep going. Like I said, he didn't hardly take no breaks. I didn't take no breaks. We just kept going back and forth.
Thank you.
During the match, we could see AJ get like a feel for your beard. What did you make of that?
I made that, I probably should shave it down a little bit, I guess. But, he was just trying to find the sweet spot.
And after tonight, obviously, you became the light heavyweight champ. Austin Turpin also picked up a win. Is that something that interests you as your first offense?
Yeah, that was a hell of a knockout from him. So yeah, that'd be a good defense against him or yeah, anybody.
Dana was in here talking about potentially if the commission were to make you guys shave your beards, would you retire or would you shave your beard?
It just depends on how low, I guess. I mean, I don't mind shaving it down to where you can find the chin, but I'd prefer to still have hair on my face.
You had to cut weight for this one. Was that a challenge for you at all, or was that no problem for you?
It wasn't a challenge until I hit about 210. That last 5 pounds was a challenge for me, but the first 20 pounds they came off pretty easily.
Do you think you'd ever go back to heavyweight?
No, I mean, I like 205. 205 is a great weight for me. I used to walk around 215 before I had to try to gain for heavyweight, so I'm going to stay here.
I know you had a belt before, but how does it feel having a belt again?
It feels great. It feels great to have the C by my name again, so yeah, I don't plan on losing that C this time.
Is there anyone you feel deserves the challenge next to come up and face you?
I know AJ. Maybe a rematch or Austin. He had a hell of a knockout, and he puts on a great show.
Awesome. Thank you. Congratulations on your win.
Thank you, bud.
They announced that Power Slap number 4 is coming back August 9th. Did you sustain any damage, or do you think you'll be able to defend it on the next card?
I think I'll be able to defend it. I didn't really sustain any damage. I got a knot on the tip of my chin. He hit me pretty good in that 4th round, but I think it'll heal up and I'll be good to go.
Thank you.
Hey, Ron. I just wanted your overall thoughts on Darius. You guys were basically 1 and 2 in the whole entire world for a long time, but now he's dropped his last 2 fights. Didn't look too good in his last one. Like, what do you think is going on?
I mean, I can't speak for him. I mean, he's probably just got personal issues going on, but he is still, I consider him one of the, still one of the top tier guys. So I'm sure he'll be back and he'll be good to go.
Do you think it's this new rule set that's getting him? Like, he's not adapting to it correctly?
No, I think, like I said, I think he's just got personal stuff going on. I think, like I said, he'll come back and he'll be good to go.
Congratulations.
Hey, thank you, bud. Thank you, everybody.